most appropriate time and place, I want you to drift off of the cloud, back down, down, and down to the surface. It won't be anything sudden, just like a leaf drifting gently out of a tree, back down to the surface. And as you come back down, I want you to tell me the very first thing that you see down there below you, or the very first impressions that you have as you come back down to the surface. Are you coming off the cloud yet?
Mm-hmm.
What do you see down there below you?
Sidewalk. With cracks in every square.
Okay. And what about around you?
Different shrubbery and flowers. There's animals around, like dogs.
Okay.
People walking dogs. Like some kind of Scottish terrier fold kind of dog. The one that looks like it has like a beard.
Mm-hmm. Now look down at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
What are you wearing on your feet?
I'm barefoot.
And how about your clothes? Can you describe them to me?
What if I told you I don't see any?
Okay. Are you naked?
I don't think I'm naked.
Okay.
But I'm not recognizing underwear. But I'm not seeing privates. Maybe a type of shorts.
Mm-hmm. And does your body feel young or old?
Definitely young.
And does your body feel male or female?
I want to say male.
Okay. And around how are you in a child's body at this time?
I want to say yes. It's very childlike feelings.
Okay. And now let's go ahead and drift away and float away to where it is that you live in that life that you are viewing, where it is that you sleep and eat at. And now you are there.
It's a house in a neighborhood. I saw circular type stones on the way in. They're big, about the size of my adult fist now.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a couple steps before you get into the doorway, but it's almost like a stepping way to get up, and then like a flat area, and then you can walk into the house.
Okay.
I see wooden floors, like some kind of it's like a light brown, goldish color.
Mm-hmm.
The table is dark brown, 4 legs, kind of rectangular shaped. It seems like it's to the left when you come into the house, like a dining area.
Okay.
My room is definitely upstairs somewhere.
Okay. Now as you look around, you can see others who are important to you in that life. Who do you see?
Seems like family members, but they're not actual family members now. One actually looks like an Asian woman.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy there, he seems like my brother, but not my actual brother.
All
seems like there's a lot of people in the house, but it's almost like I don't know everyone. I don't know if there's like a family reunion going on or what's bringing people together. But it almost seems like it's like an everyday thing, but like a big family type house.
So there's a lot of people every day in that house.
Mhm.
And as you look at the people around you, what are your feelings toward them?
Almost like they're always there, but like they're family. But it's like also that like I don't really know who they are.
Okay.
If they like kind of like they're judging me and my character in some aspect too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what is it that you do in that life? How do you spend your time?
I see a magnifying glass. I'm like studying stuff. I think it's connected to nature.
Okay.
And I see games like a basketball. I like athletic stuff. Definitely starting to see basketball courts and stuff.
Okay. And the people that you mentioned earlier, the Asian lady with long hair.
She had actually a bob cut.
Okay. And how is she related to you in that life?
She seems like my mom. She's very nurturing.
Okay.
A guidance figure. Someone who sees me better than everyone else and actually sees my soul.
Okay. And your brother? The one you referred to as your brother?
He has like longish, shaggy brown hair. Yeah. I wouldn't say that he looks Asian either. Like I couldn't even tell you what ethnicity he is. He seems to be very joyful in himself and very like secure in who he is, kind of thing. Like, but not very business oriented. Like just very practical and just like childish inside. Still, no matter what his age is. He seems like he's older, like 27 or something.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene and let's move forward to an important day in that life. A day when something important is happening.
It seems like it's that day. Like there's a lot of family members there and something's going on.
Well, why don't you approach the Asian lady, the mother figure, and ask her what's going on?
I heard my brother's birthday.
Okay.
Something to do about him. And it's like I'm looking up to them or something. And I want to say like something bad's about to happen to me or something. Like I feel a sense of distress, or like something's around the corner, or just like I'm about to be confronted with a man, or I'm about to be confronted with someone, maybe an uncle, or I can't figure out what's going on. It's kind of making me anxious.
Okay. Go ahead and walk around.
There's an animal in the house. Seems like it's a dog. It's almost like my familiar, like my buddy, like a friend that's been around a long time, except it's in animal form now.
Okay. And does your body still feel like a child?
I feel more like a teenager now.
Okay. And is there any animosity around you?
What does that mean?
Any feelings of anger?
Yeah, it's like angst. It's like
okay. Is that coming from you or from other people?
It definitely doesn't seem like it's mine.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I'm pushing people away because of that feeling or something like that.
Okay. Is there any particular person around you right now that you are?
I don't see anybody. I see like I want to say like a naked living room, and there's like a television, and still same color floors, some kind of passageway that's like an oval almost, but it's like some kind of archway that's inside the house.
Okay. Is there any particular place that is calling you to explore right now?
There's a couch in there, and I guess I'm kind of called to lay on the couch.
Okay, go ahead and lay on it.
There's also apparently a staircase that's around the corner, and it's tempting to run up there, and it seems like there's like a game room up there or something, like some kind of games, and then it's like almost like a child regression thing. It's like childhood games, like younger. It's like I'm bouncing between ages or something.
If you want to go up there, you can go up there.
It's almost like I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble, or like I'm not allowed to play with those childish things anymore. Like I'm held to a standard where I'm supposed to be like my brother, basically.
Practical.
Professional in some aspects, where it's just like leaving childish things behind and being a bigger person, and like almost like I'm pushed to not spend time on those childhood things, where it's like I'm looking at like baby toys or something kind of thing, and I want to regress and like go back to a time where I can actually enjoy those things instead of being pushed to face my feelings.
Okay, is there anything else around you that you can see that triggers any particular feelings?
I'm struggling to keep seeing. I randomly see flashes of some images. Like I saw a mirror. At some point, it was like a square mirror. It's kind of mounted to the wall, and then like I saw like a flash of like almost another dog or something that was white, and like had like black spots or something like that.
Okay.
And like a teddy bear.
So lots of childhood items.
And a reflection, the whole mirror thing.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life. A day when something important is happening. We've now moved forward to another important day. What do you see?
It seems like it's some kind of connection to my grandma. Though I can't really like figure out where I am right now.
Okay, just look around you.
It almost seems like I'm outside again. Like there's sidewalk and like the neighborhood. I don't see grandma. I see kids playing in the road. I see driveways.
But you have grandma in your...
Yeah, in my head or something. Or like she's looking out for me or something like that, but she's not around. Like I wanted to say that she passed, or at first I thought it was like a funeral, or like I couldn't figure out what it is. It seems like people around me are sad, like the family is, but I've left and gone outside to like avoid the situation or something like that.
And how are you feeling?
I want to say almost alone, like kicking rocks or something, and it's just like there's some kind of like emptiness inside me and a little bit of anger and like not really understanding, and like that also causes more anger, not having the cognitive ability to really recognize what's happening, and just like feeling mad and sad at the same time.
Was your grandma important to you in that life?
Yeah, I held her really close to my heart.
Okay. Is there anybody else around you right now?
No, I saw a lawnmower, like a red one.
Okay, and does your body feel much older than the previous one?
I'm having this issue where I keep bouncing ages. Like at first I was 8, and another one I did feel like older, like I was 28 or something like that.
Okay, that's fine. And is your family in the house at this time?
They're in there.
Okay.
My dad in that life is there.
Okay.
My brother in that life is there as well. But it was weird. It was almost like he wasn't the same picture of the person that I saw before. Like he's like ever evolving and changing, like transforming or something. Same mom though.
And you choose to go outside and be alone with your feelings?
It seems like I'm looking for a sacred space. Like part of me wants to run up and go to my room, but I feel like I'm going to be like questioned about how I'm feeling, how I'm handling things, or like someone's going to come into my space. So I'm turning to outside, but like it's almost like I don't want to be there, but I want space. I want air.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life. A day when something important is happening.
See, college.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's, I want to say it's mine. I wanted to almost say it was my brother's, but it seems like it might be mine, or like we're there together.
Is he with you?
Yeah.
Okay, and how are you feeling being in college?
I want to say insecure. It's like I'm not as good as him or something like that. And like, even though we're in the same spot, or like maybe I'm watching him grow up and I'm just there watching him go through his thing. It's hard to tell what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Is this particular college a place you want to be in?
I feel like I almost don't want to be there, but I'm trying to follow my brother's footsteps, so I'm graduating with him the same time or something.
Okay. And how does that make you feel to be able to graduate?
I felt a feeling like I just did it to prove a point, like I didn't really graduate with something that I really wanted. But like it is something that's useful, but it's not really what I wanted to do.
And what is it that you wanted to do?
Something more creative, something almost childish, like something in my childhood that was really shoved away from. Maybe a part of me that I never even got to explore or discover because I felt like I wasn't born in the right family or something. Because there was all these like traditions and standards that were forced upon me. I almost want to say something to do with art or some type of creative expression.
So you felt pressure to do something more practical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life. A day when something important is happening.
I'm at another funeral. It seems like my mom's funeral.
And how does that make you feel?
A sense of sadness or loss. It's just like I'm like looking at a casket or something and it's like, now what?
Okay. Is your brother there with you?
Yeah, he's crying.
Is there anybody else around there with you that you recognize?
Nobody I recognize, but I know one's an aunt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the father, but I think he's upset and he's hiding like in the bathroom. He's hiding somewhere.
Okay. We haven't really seen your father in this lifetime. Is he still part of the family, or are they separated?
It seems like he's distant. Like I almost wanted to say at first that he's not alive, but he's like with us. It's like, I don't know, it's like a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to really recognize what's happening with him.
Okay.
Or like as if he's like a very leader figure, like he's too hard on us or something like that.
So is he the one that pushes you to be more practical? Or was it
Yeah,
him?
he's definitely the more practical one, while she was like more nurturing and understanding.
Okay. So do you feel like you're losing that support?
Yeah, and like almost like an anger, bad feeling that like it should have been him instead or something.
Okay. Is there anything else that is, as you look around, is there anything else that you would like to explore in this scene?
I keep seeing like some kind of tables with like flowers full of vases. Like that kind of stands out. Like they're like white flowers inside some kind of like glass vase thing. There's some kind of music going on in the background too, but it's like not like typical funeral music. Like it's just like maybe it was like my mom's favorite kind of music or something. I've never even heard this kind of genre before.
And how does the music feel to you?
almost feels like a part of her. Or like as if she's talking through the music, but it seems like the music has no words.
And what is that feeling that you get?
A feeling like home.
Okay.
Or like we're still together.
Good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene. And let's move forward to another important day in that life. The day when something important is happening. Now we are there.
I see my brother's family. He has kids now. Honestly, I'm like jealous. I'm like wondering when is my life going to start, and I've watched him taking all these steps, and I don't recognize where my own steps are.
Okay. And do you have a good relationship with your brother at this point?
It almost feels like he's always looking out for me, but it's also like he's almost like looking down on me. Like I'm a little kid and just like I gotta follow his orders. Like he's acting like dad now, and like maybe dad's not around.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm watching his kids, and I'm at his house. I'm like in his yard or something like that.
Do you live with him?
I want to say yes. I live upstairs in a room next to his kids.
Is this the same house as before?
No, this is a different house.
Okay.
It's like a reddish color on the outside. It's not brick. It's like concrete house.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that your brother makes you feel
Angry.
Okay.
Lots of anger in this house, and like I want to run away, but I have nowhere else to go. Like I haven't figured my life out, and just it's almost like I'm pointing fingers at him or something. Like he's the only example I've really had. And like I'm seeking something else that I can't quite find anywhere, that I'm supposed to find within myself.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life. A day when something important is happening.
I see my wife. She has long black hair. She's like a beautiful, I almost want to say Asian woman again. Like I don't know, I'm bad with cultures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, she's beautiful long black hair. She's not in her wedding dress. We were already married. Or like, yeah, I feel like I'm definitely already married to her. And I don't really know what we're doing. I really just see her. Like no matter.
And how do you feel as you look at her?
I feel in love and like I'm happy. Like I have like what I've been searching for, longing for, the things that I wanted, or like how my father may have felt when he had my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, like I have something better than my brother finally.
Mm-hmm. And how did you meet?
I want to say over dinner or in school.
Okay. So you have loving feelings towards her. Okay.
I almost feel like I left that scene and like she betrayed me. At some point, she betrays me. Like she cheats on me or something. It really like leaves me crushed.
Okay. And how did she cheat on you?
She didn't really mean to. Like she just fell in love with someone else.
Okay. And that crushed you?
I think that I just wanted her to be happy. So yeah, it did hurt me, though I just felt like maybe she picked the wrong person, or like we moved quickly, or like that was like a stepping stone for what's to come in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Which I later on see me, like I'm like 37, or like I'm older now, and like I'm meant to deal with some things on my own, like with my own character that I'm meant to face. And then it leads to another area where at some point I have children with like someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't feel like I have the same feelings that I had with that other girl, because like she kind of took that part of me.
Mm-hmm.
But there is like a deeper love and strong connection to this new person. A lot of it is like nonverbal, and it feels like she really loves me. I almost want to say almost more than I love her. Like, or just like there's like some kind of unspoken bond. And I want to say we stay together till I die.
Okay. And what are your feelings about your kids?
One of them is a little girl that I see myself in. She's very playful and creative. And then the son is a little bit more practical, and he likes basketball and likes outdoor things. But in a way, it's like he has his own approach of that creative stuff by him being more athletic and more hands-on type stuff, while the little girl is more like dancing and creative expressions and like arts, music.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move forward to one more important day in that life.
Why do I keep going to funerals? I see the wife in a casket now. I'm with my kids.
Okay.
The kids are upset, and I have to be the one that basically picks up the pieces and moves on. I'm very sad, but I try to just act like it's part of life. I think I'm like really old, man. Like, seems like at first I thought I was younger, but no, now I see like I'm kind of old. Maybe I'm like 80. My kids are older, like not even 15. They're older than 15. 20s, 30s. They're strong. I want to say the girl's crying. The boy's playing kind of hard, but he's obviously really pained. He's like biting his lip or something. And well, I just have to, like, I see myself more as like an Asian man now too. Like I'm upset, I'm crushed, but I'm silent at the same time. Just like I have my hands on each of their shoulder, her right shoulder, his left. But yeah, I'm still tall. I'm kind of like supporting them by being there.
Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene. And let's move forward to the last day of your life.
I see a hospital bed. It's funny, yeah. I'm in a hospital bed. I see like the light that they always talk about that you see when you're dying. I think I'm hooked up to breathing machines because I can hear those sounds. I keep getting conflicting emotions and thoughts or whatever, because it seems like at first that both my kids are there, but it seems like only one's there. Maybe I'm imagining the other one's there, or like maybe one has kids, like the son has kids now, or like maybe he's mad at me, or maybe they can't handle the fact that I'm dying, or like then I'm like now I'm wondering like are either of them there? Am I just like losing my mind at this point? But like it's almost like I'm not sure when my last breath is my last. Or what's about to happen, or like I feel like almost like a heart attack's about to happen or something, like something's really about to take my heart, or like maybe I'm dying of a broken heart, like something's just really fucking me up, or like I don't know what's happened to me.
Well, you won't feel any physical sensations, and you can talk about it.
It feels like I'm fighting going in, but then like suddenly I feel like I'm going home. When I'm actually transitioning, I'm going up somewhere.
Okay, go ahead and go with it and explore it if you'd like.
There's definitely something going on with my heart. Like either I'm leaving a piece of my heart, or like the heart is broken, or the cord is being cut between my heart and my life existence. And it's just like I'm kissing it all goodbye and I'm just going somewhere. I don't really know where I'm going. I'm just kind of like just going with it, and then eventually it seems like I give in. I almost want to say that I see God. Like I see, I'm confronted with someone. It's almost like I'm being faced with myself. Or like maybe I'm seeing my higher self. Or like, and like, it's almost like they're having a talk with me, or like they're walking me through the transition. It's like some kind of transition team to help me go where I'm going next. Which something tells me that I'm being reborn again, and I'm being like basically reprogram to get ready for another journey.
What are they telling you?
It seems like I'm going to be a baby again.
Okay.
And like they're schooling me or whatever, and like telling me not to get so hung up on the things that happened, and like almost talking about the lessons that happened.
Okay, well, whatever happened has already happened, and now you're on the other side of it. And from that position, you can look back at the entire life and see it from a different perspective. Now, every life has a lesson and a purpose. As you look at the life, what did you learn from it?
Oh my god, I feel like the kid, like I've been drawing this figure that was kind of shown to me by like this other kid that drew it, and it just always resonated with it, and I always thought that the drawing was like this guy that I was gonna date or marry. But now that like I look at this life or whatever, I feel like that was me all along.
Mm-hmm.
Where I wore like these Genko type jeans, and like I was emo and I was angry, and I got lost in music, and like I held a lot of anger, but it was just a form of my expression of just the things that I had suppressed. And then like it's interesting because I've always drew the teenager punk rock or whatever, and like now I'm like seeing him become an old man. Mm-hmm. And just like see different versions of himself, where I guess like he didn't really resonate with like you could say Asian culture. Mm-hmm. But that would also make sense like why I'm so into traditional Chinese medicine and all the Asian stuff I'm into now. Mm-hmm. It's like as if I came from that culture at one point, and just like I really understand it. And maybe that's, I don't know, I almost feel like maybe my father was pushing down my throat for me to become like an Asian medicine doctor, and I fought it all my life, and now that I'm here in this life, like I know that I'm meant to do that because it's something I left behind. Mm-hmm. And that's why my initials are TCM. Mm-hmm. Just like reminding me of my purpose, or part of my soul's reason for being here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, how does it feel to be where you are now?
Oh, I'm home.
Oh, good, good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and move away from that scene, drifting away and moving away, drifting away and moving away.
It's hard to move away because I'm like looking back on like some kind of like black crack in my heart, or like a pain, like I'm leaving something behind, and like it's some type of pain that I bring with me inside every life, and it's like there's no escaping it. It's within. No matter what life I'm born into, it's with me. It's like some sort of heartache of just like not feeling like I belong, or not like I'm like everyone else. Mm-hmm. Something painful.
Okay. Well, we'll leave that person there to continue on their own path, and he will find peace. He will continue his own journey. And now we're moving to another most appropriate time and place that has information that you need. And you are now at another time and place. What do you see?
I want to say I see myself, but it's like I'm looking at myself, except I'm a girl with a dress on, or maybe even a skirt, and I'm obsessed with flower prints in nature. I want to say I have blackish brownish hair. I see bangs. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, it's like I almost want to say like Japanese type shoes or something. Like it's just like Mary Jane's maybe. Mm-hmm. They're white.
Are you in a child's body right now?
I think I'm like 8.
Okay.
I'm definitely younger. I'm like running. I'm running and there's flowers in my hand.
Where are you running to?
I want to say to a swing set.
Okay. Are you meeting anybody there?
I wanted to say an imaginary friend. and the swing set is connected to a tree.
Okay. And who was your imaginary friend?
It seems like a boy who actually might even be like a ghost or something. But like we have a connection and we play, and like there's some form of communication that occurs like without words. It's just a way of understanding. It's like someone that I spend time with. And I feel like my parents give me like a lot of freedom. Like I'm just allowed to do whatever I want. I'm just like, I'm being grown up by Earth. Like Earth is my mother kind of thing. Like I'm just like learning at the hands or wings of God.
Okay. And what about your clothes? What are you wearing right now?
I see like it's like a white dress or something, but there's like colorful patterns on it. Like it almost seems like the blouse type is like tucked in to the skirt or something, like 'cause the skirt comes out more poofy. And I see pink, like I think the skirt is pink and the top is white, and then there's like purplish flowers on it. But somehow I keep being shown like yellow and orange, and I'm wondering if that's because of the yellow and orange skirt that I just got. Like I'm wondering if that's correlated to that thing, or like how I'm like letting out that part of me. But I definitely see flowers in my hand. Like I'm carrying like, I almost want to say like they're bluish, like light blue. And there's like baby's breath or something in my hand. I'm just running with it. It's just in my hand.
And you feel free.
But then I'm like back on the swing set or whatever, and like I don't even know if I put the flowers in the grass, but I'm like sitting on the swing that's like it's like a wooden swing, and then like there's actual rope that I'm grasping onto. It's almost like the imaginary friend is like pushing me. It's like someone that I play with, and that like I'm free with. And then something I start getting like a bad feeling though. Like is this like almost like drop dead Fred, like a naughty spirit who's like pushing me to do bad things, or is this someone who helps me transition through my whole life? But I do feel like they're with me for a long time.
Does your imaginary friend have a name?
The first like names that came to mind was like Peter or Paul.
Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and drift away and float away to where it is that you live in that life that you are viewing, where it is that you sleep and eat at.
So I instantly saw like a curvy, like step up type thing. It seems like there's flowers everywhere outside the house. It's a tall structure. I want to say it's one floor. There's no upstairs. The kitchen is kind of far back. Like when you walk into the house, you kind of have to go like deep into the house a little bit. It's almost like the center of the house kind of thing. It's like a little meeting area. There's a sliding glass door by the by the kitchen area or whatever, by the dining room table, so you can see into the garden that's outside, where there's like purple and red type flowers that are blooming. I'm being shown different tables. The main table is glass. I don't know if that's like an outside table. It seems bizarre that it would be inside the house. Like maybe that's the outside table that's to the side with chairs or something.
Okay. Now as you look around, you can see others who are important to you in that life. Who do you see?
I think I have a sister. It's weird. I wanted to say like I see no people, like as if like again like I'm alone, like I'm stuck to like grow myself up. But now I am seeing a mother type figure. She likes to bake.
What are your feelings toward her?
want to say like I want to be like her, and I feel like I'm not like her at all.
Mm-hmm.
The sister is very like fashionable, like she's into that stuff, and she has a lot of friends
Mm-hmm.
and painted nails.
And how do you feel towards her?
Like I'm looking up to her, or like I'm wondering how can I be like her or whatever, because I think it's weird. Like I wanted to say I'm a tomboy,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's weird because I was just wearing a dress. I was super girly, or I was encouraged to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
But like to me, I don't care about boys. I don't care about girlfriends. I don't care about painting my nails. But it's almost like I'm trying to like fit in, and I'm trying to be like her and like imitate her.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anybody else that you see around you who's important to you in that lifetime?
I saw a boy, but then it made me wonder if it was Paul.
Okay.
So I don't know if I created that in my mind so I wouldn't feel alone, or so I felt like I had a friend because I felt like I was born into the wrong family kind of thing. Or
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life.
at school, there's tons of kids, tons of toys. It's like a childhood school because I see like yellow playtime area mats where you can take nappy time. Super nice teacher, super loves me, almost spoils me, like gives me cookies, like knows my home situation or something and takes care of me. Some of the kids are mean to me because they're like jealous, or like they think that I'm like specially privileged, when really they don't know that I don't have the life that they have at home.
And do you have any friends in that class?
I see a blonde boy with like almost like a bowl cut. And he's nice to me, and I think that we're friends and we like play in the sandbox. And I keep getting called to like some kind of book. There's like a book there that I like to read, and I read it over and over again, kind of thing. Like I enjoy getting lost in the story time or something that brings me comfort. And maybe he likes that book too, or something. There's something that brings us together for some reason.
Okay, so this class is a happy place for you?
Yeah, it's like a getaway.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life. A day when something important is happening. What do you see?
I want to say I'm in high school, and then I wanted to say like maybe I'm in detention or something. Like I'm in a place where it's like childish things are to be left behind, and I got in trouble for something, like I was bad, and like I'm waiting for like my parents to come meet me inside the office, and it seems like my dad's the one who's coming to handle the situation and kind of talk with the principal or something like that. But it's like my dad's really understanding, and like, but he's also like very to the point how I need to like grow up or see things or how I need to be. And he kind of helps handle the principal for me, so I don't get expelled. But I think that I get expelled anyway, and it forces me to spend time with him and like my mom, which is kind of like a vacation for me at this time. So school doesn't feel the same anymore. It's like, again, like what am I doing here? Like, but there's subjects that I really enjoy. So I guess part of me misses like learning. Like I want to say like science class, or there's certain classes that I really enjoy, and there's people in the classrooms that I enjoy too, that are more of my friends and people that I feel like are like amongst my soul group.
Okay, and what comes out of your expulsion? How did you feel about being expelled?
I almost want to say it's like a vacation, but also it made me like value school, because it made me like realize that it kind of was a punishment because it took me away from my classes. Like I still had to do homework, and I didn't have the lessons I was supposed to. I had to like access the material on my own. And I feel like that led to me wanting to homeschool my kids or something like that.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene. let's move forward to another important day in that life. A day when something important is happening.
I see my husband. Except I think we're like starting out, or we're like really tight together already. But we're at a dinner. We're at like some kind of fancy restaurant, and it seems like Italian food or something, like spaghetti's on the table, or like lasagna, or not, or like fettuccine, I guess, like the kind of white pasta. There's candles. It seems like a square type table with the cloth. They bring us alcohol. It's like wine, red and white. I want to say he's drinking white, and I have the red. And they bring out bread rolls. This dinner might be the one where the conversation or something comes up about staying together long term or something like that. Because after that, like, I'm shifted to like, it's almost like I'm going down the highway, or like I'm going down some kind of tunneled freeway where it's just, I'm being dragged on, or like I guess I'm going to work, or like, I don't know, it's like a bunch of flashes that are happening, like different time periods of things that are happening, but this is really prominent. It's like I'm going through some underpassing way or some kind of highway or something, and it's just like, it's like kind of really curved.
And how are you feeling?
Like everything's moving so fast. It doesn't feel like I'm driving. It feels like I'm the passenger. He might be driving.
Does this make you feel scared?
Definitely a bit frightened, or just like a little confused at the turns and ways that things are going, or like, yeah, like just things are happening really fast, like to the point where like I'm missing all the things that are happening on the outside kind of thing, or just like or like I'm not really enjoying my life. I'm fully immersed in something else. Like either I'm immersed in the relationship with him, or like I'm too much in my work. Like I keep kind of seeing myself like in a business suit, like some kind of high heels, like white pumps, and like some kind of lady dress business suit thing, which is like bluish.
So you feel like life is moving too fast for you to enjoy it? Okay.
I end up having kids though, and I almost want to say 2 little girls.
What are your feelings towards having kids?
I feel like it's like my mom. Like I'm like my mom, because my mom had 2 girls, and so like it's like I'm being forced into her shoes, and she's not here anymore, or I feel like I was wrong when I said that like mom was there at one point to see my kids, but now the point I'm at, I guess she's not there anymore, and now I have to be the big girl or whatever. And then same thing. One of them is like me, like tomboy, and the other one is kind of like really girly and really sensitive and doesn't want to get her feet dirty kind of thing. And the other one's kind of like more the free spirit, like running around imaginary friends and like getting lost in the nothingness. Or my husband's supportive. He loves them both. I'm almost shocked that he's like around this long and is like a good man. And then I guess I fast forward to another important event where it's like he's suddenly ill and in the hospital bed, and I have to hold his hand. And the little girls are pained and they're upset, and it seems like they're young, like maybe 6, and the other one's like 12 or something like that, so she has to like baby the other one.
And what was he in the hospital for?
Seems like cancer, like something bad, maybe something to do with his heart, or like some kind of blood clot or something like that. Like
And how does that make you feel?
Like I'm already stuck raising kids alone. I'm like almost mad at him that he didn't take care of himself. He ends up making it, and like seeing through, because I end up seeing him become an older man and end up in a hospital bed again at the time where he does pass, which the girls are older, like 20, 30. They're sad. If I go to the funeral, I see all of his family members, like all of people he supports, and in there I'm like thinking like, man, who's gonna be here at mine? And I guess maybe I'm not like that tight with my family, but my family has like the same thing, and there's a few members from my family that are there. I want to say my sister, like she's really classy. I almost want to say my mom's there with me, which is weird because I thought that she passed away or whatever. But it seems like she's there with me and she's comforting me, because I guess she went through that with my dad, which again in this life I didn't really see him that much at all.
How was your life with your husband up until he passed away?
It seems like it was very romantic, and like he was like a super awesome dad, and like we had like a fantasy type love life, like where we climbed mountains together and we just traveled a lot and we just had a lot of fun in our youth. But then we had to work all the time, and I guess that like kind of pained him. And I feel like he like raised the kids more like as if I was the breadwinner or something, and I had to be like the businesswoman all the time on the telephone and just constantly like be in charge, and didn't have like time to be that little girl I was, where I was really playful and free spirited. Like I had to drastically change who I was in order to be this adult, which kind of causes a lot of pain in my heart or whatever, because I feel like I lost that part of me, or like I'm not being who I really am. It makes me angry. Okay. And like it seems like I want to blame him, but really I know I can only blame myself, or like.
So when he died, how did that make you feel, his death?
I want to say like empty. Like I'll never love again, or like I'm not looking for another guy or anything. It does seem like I find someone else, and then like I also had this weird thought that I had like a brother, but it's like he's not involved in my life at all. And like it seems like maybe he shows up after the loss of my husband, so that's kind of like a good thing that we like made amends
and reconnected.
And he has like a wife.
Okay, let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life.
My child's getting married.
Okay.
There's white chairs everywhere, pop-up foldable chairs. We're outside. It's like some kind of garden. It seems like a family member's house or something. Which reminds me of my actual real life brother's wedding. There's garden. There's garden. There's like portable wine station or whatever. There's tons of food, like breads and like little cakes and stuff like that, like I guess hors d'oeuvres. There's wedding music on.
And how are you feeling about your daughter's wedding?
I'm having deja vu of my husband and what it was like for us to be together and falling in love. And like I'm thinking about being a grandma, like as if like she's probably gonna have kids soon. And like my life is kind of flashing before my eyes of how fast things have gone. And then like I'm concerned about the other daughter because she's not there yet and she's kind of still living with me. And like I feel like pain for her or whatever, because I guess like I'm the outsider looking in, because I grew up always having someone, and like I'm almost worried for her about her finding hers. Though something lets me know that she's gonna have hers, and then I feel like I could go there if I wanted to see that life with her.
Okay, so for now, this wedding is a happy event for you.
But it seems like the other one at the time is upset. Like she's jealous, and she's wondering like, when will my time come? Will I be a spinster, or like, and like yeah, it seems like there's other jealous relatives too, or like people that my daughter think is her friends but aren't really her friend kind of thing. So there's like some type of like snickering and stuff like that. But my daughter's really happy. The guy seems like a good dude. I think they end up breaking up, but this moment it's happy.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene. And let's move forward to another important day in that life. Now what do you see?
I almost feel like it's that same dude, and there's like a fight going on. Like I hear glasses breaking, like anger. I don't know what's going on or why they're so pissed, or like what's tearing them apart. I almost keep wanting to say it's something related to his health, like, as if he's getting sick, or like, I don't know if she has mental problems, or like there's like something tearing them apart. It's causing like a lot of distress, or maybe she can't have a baby or something like that. Like, I don't know. I think it's something to do with that. Like, he's mad because she can't have kids.
Mhm. And do you live with them at this time?
No, I think I'm visiting, and they just so happen to be fighting the time that I'm there.
Mhm.
Or like maybe they fight all the time, and like this time, like, they're showing Mom
Mhm.
the truth of what really goes on, and like she's all embarrassed. She doesn't want me to know.
How does that make you feel, witnessing that?
I almost feel guilty, like almost like it's like my fault she can't have kids, like, or like something, like what happened, or like it makes me like ask God, like, what is going on, and like what.
Mhm.
And then like my intuition just now like tells me, like, I feel like I don't have this information in that life, but I'm thinking about this thing, like how some people are meant to give birth to other things that aren't children, that they leave behind this world.
Mhm.
I think that she does. I think she creates like a business. She does something else. So it was like kind of meant to be, and she couldn't have done that unless this relationship had fallen apart, which he moves on and has a family with another girl or whatever, but she's still upset, and I don't know if she ever finds love again.
Okay.
Unless she kind of closes herself off and just drowns in her business,
Mhm.
which kind of pains me because I feel like I did that majority of my life even while I had somebody.
Mhm.
And then I see that one who got married kind of upset because she watches the other girl get her family and kids.
Her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in that life.
I think I'm like 53 and I'm sick in bed,
Mhm.
like at the house, at my whatever house I live in. And like my kids, or like somebody's there, people are there, like looking down on me. Some of them seem like friends,
Mhm.
but it's like they're such good friends. They've been family. Like this older woman who's been there in my life, like I almost want to say since I was like a kid, like maybe since I was in high school, or like someone who's just like a really tight friend of mine. And she has like a funny hat on, like a big hat with like these like flowers or decorations on it or something.
Mhm.
And she kind of just like has a good sense of humor, just letting me know it's gonna be okay. I don't think the kids are there. And I think that kind of makes me a little, I want to say a little upset, but I'm also kind of a little comforted because I don't really want the kids to see me like that, or like maybe the kids that had already seen me.
Mhm.
And now I'm kind of like in my stages where I'm kind of reflecting back on my life, and I feel kind of secure that my kids are where they need to be. Like the other one I'm definitely concerned about because, you know, she's not getting married or whatever.
Mhm.
But like it was like her choice, and it kind of like made her happy to drown her work, but still like I guess I'm kind of left concerned for her.
Mhm.
And then I can even go forward and see like my actual funeral and see the kids there and see them with their families, and just the other one in her handbag and just like running makeup.
Mhm.
And all these people, like maybe like 30 people.
At your
Like,
funeral?
yeah, like people that you say that I took for granted kind of thing. Like people that I didn't really expect that would be there, that would care that much that I'm gone, or like I'm impressed with like the words that people are saying.
Mhm. And how does it feel to listen to them speak about you?
It's almost humbling, but like part of me is, I feel like I'm kicking and I'm screaming. Because I can't go back, or these things that I didn't know, or like stories that people are saying about me that like I didn't see about myself.
Mhm.
And just like kind of wanting to go back and being mad. But it's like the same thing happens again, like it's like someone's grabbing me by the arm and I'm being escorted, like I have to go forward, but it's like some type of like spiritual guide or something that's like, again, they're gearing you up, like you're about to go somewhere else.
Mhm. They're getting you ready.
Mm-hmm. And then I feel like I could go there and like this time I'm becoming a dude again.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move away from that scene.
Dude, by the way, the life that I'm about to go into next is the one where I heal the girl. That's that one for sure.
Okay.
The healing contract where I tell this girl I can take care of her,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna love her and be with her in every life.
Okay, let's go ahead and move away and drift away, leaving the person there to continue on their own path. She'll find peace. She'll continue her own journey. Now we're moving to that other most appropriate time and place that has information that you need. And you're now there.
I'm now a kid. I'm like 14. My parents are very much so together. They're very much in love. They both do a job that like brings them both together. Like either like I want to say the dad is kind of like scientific and works with plants or whatever, and then mom kind of takes care of the kids and the animals, and she's like a stay-at-home mom, and she's like very fulfilling in that aspect. And like she cooks and she's very serving and she cleans the bathroom. She's very 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 clean. Like everything's so freaking clean. The house is like it's like a garden, but it's also very uniquely structured. It's not your typical concrete house. Like it looks like this house was like custom made. I see an outside table, but it's weird. Like I don't see it. I don't vision us all like sitting down at this table outside to eat. But I also see like a couch and like a television, like as if maybe we all sit around by the TV and eat or something. Like that we sit on the ground, or like I sit on the ground and my plate's on the table or something. I'm not seeing any siblings. Like maybe I'm the only child. And like I spent a lot of time in the garden, and like I even did that in my babyhood or whatever. Like while my parents worked on the gardens, my mom was picking weeds or whatever. And like something gets me into the earth or whatever, which I guess leads me to being a healer.
Okay, let's go ahead and leave that scene. We'll move forward to another important day in that life when something important is happening.
I'm either in high school or college, and I'm taking some kind of classes. I almost want to say I have a crush on the teacher.
Okay.
She's very soft-spoken, and I think I'm like crushing or like madly in love where I like want to be with her. And I'm pretty sure that's the girl I end up marrying, and I end up doing the healing contract with her. Like she gets sick and she's like losing her hair or something. I want to say she's like coughing blood too. And just like because my parents like did work with plants and stuff, like I come up with all these concoctions, and I guess I do energy work too. She's on like some kind of table, like it's almost like a massage table inside the garden of my own house. Like it's my family's house and it becomes mine or something like that. Or like I still live there with my parents. And yeah, I concoct all kinds of like things together for her to heal. And she gets better, but it has nothing to do with me. But she appreciates me and thinks that all the stuff that I did contributed, which it did. It definitely did, but she could have did it on her own if she would have known the things that I knew and the herbs to combine, and like if she pursued that path, she could have even did like it was like Reiki. She did Reiki on herself, on her stomach, and like if she would have taken care of her body, like if she would have had like a more spiritual path, like she would have did yoga or just like different sound healings. Like there's all kinds of different things, or she just wasn't in such a toxic environment of like students that didn't really value what she was offering, or maybe she settled to be a teacher when really she wanted, or maybe she wanted to be a teacher to like children, or like be more around childlike innocence, but really she did something that wasn't true to herself, and through that she kind of submitted to me. And then I guess there's some kind of spell or connection that, or like an agreement that I make with her, basically like a legit thing, like I'll always love you, I'll never let you go, and just like something in that life brings us together in multiple other lives, and like there's nothing that can tear us apart. Like every single life we go into, we're still there. Like in some lives we fight a lot, and in some lives she dies and I'm like without her, and I have to go on as a man, or like even I guess if I change genders. Like I have to keep going on without this person. And in some lives we have kids. It seems like we didn't have kids in the life that I first met her. But I'm with her till she dies. And like that seems to be the most prominent thing, is that I always live past her. And I'm always left without her.
Oh, okay.
And I always feel like I have to get to the next life so I can have her again.
Oh.
Yeah. And I love her and I cry every time. It makes me want to cry right now.
Go ahead and cry if you want to. It's okay.
It's like I'm mad, or like I don't understand God, and like I vision anger spheres. It's almost like I throw them at God, but they come back around and they just stab me in the heart. Like I can't escape them, and they're like thorns in the garden.
Okay.
And like I see kind of like a flash of like the lives where we have kids and parts of her that carry on. And like there's parts of her everywhere, and I think that those are seeds of people that are in my life all the time, because we gave birth to that. Like there was a power of that, but it seems like there's like a curse on the earth. And it's funny that this is coming up, because I've thought about this so many times, how like it seems like love is forbidden on the planet, and just like everyone's kept away from their true love, or like everyone's taken away from their divine will, and like there's like, you could say like Satanism or something like really shoved down mankind, like some type of poison we're all forced to drink, where we're just like not allowed to be together, and like exactly like you get shocked, like like an electrical zappage punishment, like it's forbidden, kind of like in Tank Girl, like when you're not allowed to drink water, like it's like a substance that like so few are allowed to have, and if you get caught having it, they might take away your partner, which might be part of the reason why she dies a lot of times.
Okay.
It's weird too, because it almost seems like this goes on into a futuristic future, like super futuristic, like apocalyptic type stuff, and then I also seem like super more steampunky, like flying around cars. Like it seems like it goes that far.
With her, your connection.
Yeah, so I don't know if we go to another planet, or like, it seems like it's actually a futuristic Earth, where that actually goes on, where like it's just like in the movies, like there's buildings that are super high up in the air, mechanical people, basically like robots, like police, like robots.
Well, for this life that we're looking at, let's go ahead and move forward to another important day in that life that might give us more information.
We're in some kind of Victorian home. She's still alive. She's in the kitchen. She's cooking. I'm upstairs. I'm doing something. I think I have like an office up here or something. I think I'm like a writer, or like for some reason I'm writing. And like she's trying to get me to come downstairs and eat a meal with her, but I feel like I'm neglecting her, I'm pushing her away, and I'm submerging in my work again. Because I feel like I'm writing something big that's going to really change the world, or change the way people look at this one thing. And then like I feel like almost sadness, like as if I was supposed to be writing a letter to her instead, or like that was like a moment that I lost, or just like something that was a waste of time, or like maybe I burned the pages, or like something that the time just was like, it was stupid for me to not just to submerge myself into being with her and sitting at the table, because she worked really hard. It seems like she's gotten into herbs like a lot, like it seems like we grew shit in the garden, and that she like it's like, it's almost like, it's weird. Like at first I was in like a Victorian type place, so I don't know if the other house was like that or what, but it seems like the outside is still the same. It's like the garden's there, like she can pick all the plants. I guess she picked all of the spinach, and she picked like the peppers, and just like everything's fresh from the garden that she collected in her basket, and she's prepped it all nice, and she's just like sipping a glass of wine, just like waiting for me to come downstairs, to the point where eventually she has to come upstairs and convince me to come down. Which seems like I could have gotten into a fight with her, but something tells me to give in, and so instead of getting mad, I come down.
Okay. And what was the book that you were writing about?
I want to say it has something to do with plants.
Okay. That might explain why you're suddenly having interest.
Yeah, like it's from that past life.
Plants, yeah. Okay. Now let's go ahead and leave that scene, and let's move forward to another important day in in that life. A day when something important is happening.
I'm going crazy because I'm in a garden and I think I just saw a fairy. It's like, and I feel like I'm losing my mind, and I'm trying to explain to my wife about how, like, magic is real. And, like, I feel like in this life, I'm learning about past lives, and that I know that I existed in a realm, or that I'm, like, explaining how multiple realms are occurring, how some people just can't see them, like, see the spirits, or, like, see the, sprites, or whatever you want to call them, the fairies type things. And I'm trying to get her to believe in, like, mystical things. And really, she's just really gentle with me. Like, but at the same time, like, it's like she doesn't believe, but it's like she's giving me the freedom to explore this level of myself, or the things that I'm getting into. And she doesn't think that I'm crazy. She thinks that I should be writing about this, or maybe writing more of, like, a children's book, or writing things. And it seems like she's ready to have kids.
Okay.
But, like, I feel like she thinks that I'm being childish or something. She's, like, a little bit concerned with my behavior and how, like, obsessed with my work I am.
Okay.
And I feel like she dies upset that we don't have kids.
So she was ready, but you didn't have any kids?
Like, I pushed her off, or, like, I just had an excuse after excuse, or just, like, maybe we didn't make love that much, really, because I was so obsessed with work, and, like, I didn't value her as much as she valued me, because she basically valued me because she thought that I saved her life. So she kind of felt, like, in servitude to me. But at the same time, like, there was a time, like, when we first met, where I really, really loved her, like, back at the high school or whatever, when I really, really just thought she was magical just in her voice. And then that kind of flashed me to her funeral, like, when she's there, like, I'm crying mess. And I'm miserable because all I can remember is her voice, and how it took me away, and how I fell in love, and all the times I could have spent with her, like, that dinner for some reason is, like, a huge thing that replays in my mind over and over again, thinking of all the times that were just, like, the simplest of moments that we could have really enjoyed our time together, or how, like, the few little times where we got away from the house, where we're sitting, like, in a Jeep or whatever at the top, like, where we can see the beach, and how I can hear the seagulls screeching, or just, like, how we just sit there, and how I wish for more time with her. And I guess that's, at that moment, is when I make an official, like, it seems like a weaving of baskets, but of our souls together, where it's like I choose to not let her go, and to make sure that we connect again. And then my life goes on where I'm still in the garden. I think that I'm pretty sure I die in the garden, and the neighbors find me, and I'm amongst all my plants. And I want to say that, I almost want to say that I killed myself. Like, I ingested some kind of poisonous plant, like I knew better.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go forward to the last day of your life in this lifetime that we're watching. What do you see?
I'm like a madman. Like Mad Hatter style, just, like, crazy. Hair's all stringy. I feel like I'm young. I almost want to say, like, I'm 52, or, like, not too old. And just, I'm energized, I'm wired. I feel like I've been drinking coffee, or, like, I've just been up for days. And, like, I almost just had a vision that I spend time in the garden because I think I see her sometimes, and I hear her laughter in the woods. And then something calls to me to drink poison, basically. And, like, there's some kind of, like, I almost want to say, like, poison ivy. It's, like, some kind of plant that's, like, kind of like a dusty white on it too, and, like, kind of like a spiky looking plant. And I want to say that I eat some of the leaves, and that, like, maybe that's not enough, because I see me, like, having, like, some kind of mortar type thing, or like I'm making a flower essence out of the leaves itself, and then I drink it, and I basically wander the garden lost in, like, hallucinations or something, where I'm together again, or maybe, like, that's what I've been doing. Maybe I've been consuming the plant over and over again
Mm.
because to have more fantasies with her, and then I overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
And like some like older lady or whatever next door finds me and is startled, and yeah, the ambulance has to come and fucking take me away. And just that house is left there. That's what's most prominent. That's like one of the best pieces that we left behind in history, is that house, because the house is left with stories of my family and my whole family. And then yeah, the old man that fucking went crazy after he lost his wife, who, and like it's like our story lives on. And I feel like I left a bunch of journals, and I have tons of writings, and that those are found, and like someone else finds them and makes stories, and like that is part of us that gets dragged on for generations, some kind of storytelling, which is interesting because storytelling is a very huge thing in my life, in this life now too. And I never really understood how all that tied together until I just kind of time traveled through that. And then I also just got a last vision of, which is weird, it was like I was walking across a rainbow, so maybe I don't know if like I'm in the middle of like some kind of like still hallucinating as I cross over or whatever, but like I finally meet her at the end of the rainbow, which is funny because they call it Rainbow Bridge with animals. So it's funny that I just saw that. I feel like I collapse to the ground and I puke at her feet when I get there. But she still embraces me and like kind of nurtures me, like puts like a wet towel on my head and cleans me up. But then it's like, yeah, she holds my hand and we're getting ready to go somewhere else. But I think that it seems like we hang out there for a while.
Stay for a while.
Yeah, then we like talk and like catch up. But then like I get upset because our fingers, they have to part and we go our separate ways, and we're not sure for sure that we're gonna see each other again. So it's almost like we kiss goodbye, and then it goes on, and like literally we're pulled apart like kids. And then I like, it's funny that I say that because I also instantly saw like different parents grabbing our hands, and we were literally little kids, and we're walking somewhere. Like her, I saw down like a path of like nature, and then I'm kind of like in a grocery store, like amongst like all the cucumbers and stuff.
Still in the plants.
Yeah. So it's funny how the story like continues.
That's beautiful.
I'm a boy again though.
Well, let's go ahead and drift away from that life. And whatever happened has already happened. And now you're on the other side of it. And from that position, you can look back at the entire life and see it from a different perspective. Every life has a lesson and a purpose. And as you look at the life, what did you learn from it?
I'm kind of going haywire to the next life already. I feel like I'm learning the story continues no matter what. It's like it's just like a never-ending story. It's like literally the never-ending story. I learned a lot about love. A lot about. It's like I feel like I'm reflecting on both lives, like not to get so lost into work. And like how like I do that a lot. But I feel like that stems down from another life that we haven't done, which goes before that, like where I was really sad, and like was my escape from all the pain that was inside. Like I just got lost in my work because it made me feel like I was doing progress, like I was growing. But I almost feel like it's causing barnacles on that black crack that I discussed earlier or whatever. From this life I learned, I want to say the importance of having kids, but also how you don't have to have kids for the story to continue, and how it's not so much of that my books were discovered as much as it was just the importance of us living our lives, because people were outside looking in and knew our story automatically, because everyone always knew, like you could say like the McCullums or like or the family name. It seemed like it was definitely like an Irish name or something like that.
So they knew you already.
Yeah, like it was a small town, and like everyone knew that little house in the corner was that family's, and that they were into the plants, and like everyone went there to get help and stuff like that. And like I was the kid that was in school, like just regular stuff. It seems like I was in high school. I met her at a young age.
Okay.
And then when I'm time traveling somewhere else. I'm blonde again. I'm blonde and I'm in Alaska. Like I don't know why. on going
So
there.
it's
I'm already
coming
old
to
though.
now, huh? Okay, well, let's go ahead and drift away from that life. We're drifting and floating away from that life, leaving them there to continue on his own journey. He will find peace. He will find what he is supposed to find. And we're leaving him there to continue on his own journey. He will find peace. He will find what he's supposed to find. Now I want all of the consciousness and personality of Trina to once again return to the body and fully integrate back into the body. Now may I speak to Trina's subconscious, please?
You may.
Do I have permission to speak to Trina's subconscious?
Yes.
Okay. Now to respect the power of the subconscious, because I know the subconscious takes good care of Trina's body and does a very good job of it. I also know that the subconscious has the records of everything that has ever happened to Trina in this lifetime and all the other lifetimes she's ever lived. So I respect the power of the subconscious, and I always ask for permission to speak to it and ask questions. Do I have permission to ask questions?
Yes.
Thank you. Now I know the subconscious could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Trina to see today. You chose to bring forward the first lifetime for her. Why did you pick that one for her?
It's connected to her childhood.
What did she need to see about her childhood?
About being true to our authentic self.
And how can she apply that to her current life?
To not get so hung up on the precautions or the information that people give her and attempting to hear her own inner voice regardless of what is being shouted at her by other people and things.
Okay, so she needed to see that so that she can be more confident in listening to her own voice?
Yes, because in that past life she didn't do that at all, and she led a pretty miserable existence until the departure of the ones that she loved and the departure of her own life where she wanted to go back and relive it but couldn't.
Okay, thank you. Now, what about the second life that you showed Trina? Why was it important for her to see that life?
It's more to do with the childhood innocence and also the very beginning of, or one of the most important beginnings of the flowers, and how something so simplistic brought her happiness when everything else was chaos.
So those flowers that she was carrying to the swing set were very important.
Up to the flowers that were even at the daughter's wedding, and also even going back to the past life before that where the flowers were sitting upon the table of the funeral.
So flowers are really important for her now as well. Okay. And what is she meant to do with the flowers in her current life? Why did you want her to really see the flowers?
There's healing properties in the flowers that are neglected by modern society, and some cultures appreciate them more. And there's levels of depths that are meant to be understood about the flowers, and she's meant to carry those forward and to basically bring flowers into people's life.
So would you suggest that she pursue exploring how to make flower essences?
That's just a fragment of everything that is to be begun.
Okay, thank you. And now what about the third life? Why was it important for her to see that third life?
A couple of reasons, because she really wanted to know about the spell and pact and binding that had been occurring in the life. She's obsessed with the flowers and knowing more information about that and the herbs, and she just needs to understand that it's just basically part of our history and how the legacy kind of continues, and there's still so much more get, her biggest thing is to not get so lost in the work, which would be really easy to do for anyone to get lost in the flowers.
Okay, so in this life now that she's currently living, are you cautioning her against getting lost in the work if she does pursue exploring the healing properties of flowers in this life?
Absolutely, she already works too hard, and basically sometimes she doesn't even know that she's working because she's so passionate about what she's doing, and some of the things needs to have all those childlike innocences that she had before to be applied, so that way she can offer that kind of genuine support to other people, because people don't want to deal with the hard business-oriented person. They want that childlike innocence of healing to be able to access their true authentic self, which a lot of it boils down for people to get in touch with nature again from where they formed.
Thank you for that. And I think that leads to her question about her purpose in this life. What is her purpose in this lifetime?
All I hear is healing.
Healing, okay. And what type of work is she meant to do? You mentioned flowers, you mentioned healing.
Guidance.
Guidance for whom?
I hear children, though it's weird because it's like adults' inner kids that they never really nurture, or that they were abused.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people that have dealt with trauma in multiple levels of trauma. A lot of it is self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm. So she's meant to help people and guide people to heal that inner child.
And to get in touch with their divine blueprint as well.
Okay, thank you. And you, regarding the third life that you showed her, it showed her, work with the flowers, and it also showed her information about that, her healing contract. Is she meant to continue that contract? Would it serve her highest good?
It may please her most. However, she keeps trying to break it.
Okay.
It brings a lot of pain and misunderstanding to her life. Though in every lifetime she feels like that person's there on the other side, and she's always called to that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets frustrating when you can't find that person.
And how can she fully heal from that story or that contract?
By finding the love within herself and passions that have nothing to do with people.
Okay, thank you. And going back to her soul's purpose, one of her questions connected to that soul's purpose is, when will she go home? She would like to know.
This feels like a joke because I heard soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not meant to know.
Okay. And in regards to her work, we covered that with her purpose, her soul's purpose. She'd like to know, how will she make money to support herself in this lifetime?
By doing what she loves to do.
Is that anything and everything?
It seems like it is. It seems like a big joke on me, frankly.
Okay.
I'm not being shown precisions like I was interested in. I am being shown more herbs and like the tools that I was mentioning before. Like I see a pesto and mortar, I guess it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm meant to like actually learn how to work with those tools and learn how to cook. And that there's other ways that I'm meant to serve that I'm not really diving into because it makes me uncomfortable. And apparently maybe I haven't really fully done that in my lives. Like usually people have cooked for me in my past lives, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And in terms of the steps that she needs to take to reach or to fulfill her purpose here on Earth, can you give her any ideas of what some of those steps are? Can you give her clear ideas? So
I see school is screen number one. The
Mhm.
next thing is people, like learning through people and interactions. And then that leads to the next thing, which is experiences, that there are signs being shown every day, and to basically learn as much as you can. And just like you were asking her or me to, what did I learn from that? Which triggers another memory of something that happened in real life, where when my grandfather passed away, who I actually felt a very strong resonance with, even though I never met him at his funeral, I felt like I knew him. They
Mhm.
told a story of him after he died about how he would always ask the girls, tell me 3 things you learned today.
Mhm.
And now I'm kind of being triggered why that's really important, again, to how that needs to be brought with me on a daily basis.
Okay, good. And is there any place specifically on Earth that Trina will do best or be happiest at?
By the ocean or around nature and flowers.
Okay.
She might have to build somewhere like that.
Okay. Maybe she can build that house again from that third life. It sounds very beautiful.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And in terms of relationships, Trina would like to know, what is her connection and what is the purpose of her connection with DTS?
The first thing that I was shown before you asked this question was about how I feel like it does have some kind of correlation to the contract. Like maybe it's connected to that, and somehow at one point the contract was broken, or like something, or like she, well, I just got triggered another vision. It seems like at some life I was brought to like an elemental realm where, yeah, I was a witch and I created some kind of spell or something like that. Like I was shown this before too, like where I attached someone to me, like to help keep this away. Or so I would stop dying of a broken heart when really it attached something else to me, which now like apparently I'm in like another pattern. But it's like the curse isn't broken, like I'm still connected to this person, except now we can't be together.
Okay, and is that her connection with DTS? They can't be together, but they're still connected?
Yeah, except he's helping her learn things about herself and to basically, you could say, grow up and step away from that inner child type of like abuse and things that she's been through. It's helping her transition.
Okay, so there's still a purpose for that connection. Okay.
It's part of the healing process.
Okay, thank you. And she'd also like to know, what is the story with Zach?
So intuition says that Zach is the one.
Okay.
And then part of that gets confusing, like one is forcing that, or if that's ego. Though another information that I was given sitting here was how this is my option to truly break the spell and basically have the opportunity to have a new love and new life and something that's fresh, and where I walk away from that spell pact and binding, which leads me to basically the opportunity to do the same thing all over again. And like as if I'll be tested to really explore that, and I'll have the chance to really love again. And then it's, again, did I really learn from all the past lives? Did I learn not to get lost in my work? Or will I have to teach him not to do the things that I have done before?
Okay. Well, thank you. So I guess I'm not sure if that answers her next question. She'd like to know, who is her twin flame or soulmate, and when will she meet this person?
Ooh. I hear that there's many other parts of you, and twin flame, now coming to me now, says that it doesn't always mean it's going to be someone that you marry or someone you spend time with. Someone like Kitty very much well can be a twin type flame, like a brother sisterly love of someone that's meant to be there with you and accompany you on your journey. I do believe that Zach is an opportunity to get in touch with what humans call the whole soulmate connection, where you can have that type of understanding, though on some level as well, what humans perceive to be the soulmate and twin flame is really non-existence, where we just are all having this experience together, and we just are continued in the next life multiple times together tenfold.
Okay. Now, Trina would like to know, will she marry in this lifetime?
Should she choose.
Okay, so that's always an option, right? Okay, and let me see, what else is here? Let me just turn the page here. Now Trina would like to know how she can be happy.
Another joke on me. How she chooses to be happy. Does she choose to follow her passions? Does she choose to listen to happy, uplifting music? Does she choose to do what she truly desires, or does she suppress herself so people will like her more, therefore losing part of herself? She has to be true to her divine self.
Okay, it sounds simple, yes. Is that the same answer for healing?
Healing, I'm being told, will require some work. All the things that she wants to do for other people to heal is all part of her process of healing too. The flower essences, the different scents, acupuncture, sound healing is one of the most important healing tools, even though it's the most discredited. And there is a connection going on because she's also very into American Sign Language and is very in touch with the deaf community. There are ways where even though the sounds can't be heard, that the sounds are still affecting and healing the people the same way, which is why the singing bowls are also important and called to her as well.
Okay. Well, this isn't part of her questions, but Trina mentioned earlier that her singing bowl stopped working. Can you shed some insight into why that happened and how she can get it to start working again?
It's connected to some kind of heartbreak or some kind of disconnection or discord from herself, or some kind of energy force that she's been put into. It's cleaning it. I mean, she's already tried the ocean, she's tried smudging it. Something tells me she's meant to go bring it to somebody that is fully healed and can make it sing like it used to, or perhaps she's meant to pass that bowl down to someone else, but she's already known that information.
Okay.
Which may be hard for her to let go, which is a very powerful lesson for her to learn in giving, which is a huge lesson, if you recall, in her reading.
Yes. And she mentioned earlier that she sees school as the next step for her purpose. Is college important as the next step?
If she chooses to pursue traditional Chinese medicine, though, it would really be important for her to truly focus and to be able to fully be present when she's in school, instead of being heartbroken or choosing to be in toxic relationships, which pulled her away from school several times before.
Okay, so if she chooses to go to school, she really has to make a full commitment? Okay, thank you. And she has a question here. I'm not sure exactly what she's asking for, but I will ask it for her. She's asking, what is most important?
The appreciation of each breath and every moment that you live, every step that you take, every experience that's been given to you, and recognizing all the small little details that come, even though it doesn't make all sense, even to the bottom of your dreams. Just truly recognizing and actually experiencing it. People get so lost in documenting everything that they lose sight of what's actually occurring in their presence, not really recognizing their existence, and getting so hooked on the labels and documentation of what things mean when really they're supposed to just appreciate.
Thank you. I think I needed that for myself too, so thank you for that. And Trina would like to know what planet is home for her?
It's linked to the next question. It's Mintaka.
Okay.
It's like I've always known this. I'm meant to be underwater. I spent a lot of time, a lot of places. But what's funny is I don't think her soul, I'm not from Mintaka. It's just that was always home.
Felt like home for her. Okay. guess that explains why she feels so called to water.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. And Trina would also like to know if she should try ayahuasca or TNT.
It's definitely going to show her things she's never seen before, although she's going to have to face her demons like never before.
So do you suggest then that she pursue experiencing those substances?
One must just recognize that once you do it, there's no going back. The veil, once it's torn and you can see, you can't unsee what's been shown.
Yes.
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Okay, thank you. And do you suggest any crystals that would best assist Trina on her journey?
A lot of information I'm being given is a lot of crystals that I have already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing, I was told lavender, like as if I'm meant to work with all kinds of purple crystals, but the first one that comes to mind is amethyst.
Mm-hmm.
I see lapis lazuli. I see, I forgot what it's called. It's chlora something. It's a heart healing crystal. All the tools that I will need for my healing are tools that are going to have to be used on other people.
Okay.
I might be shown new crystals, and something is also pushing me that's important for me to get that danverite crystal that I was running away from before.
Okay. Good. And do you suggest any other tools that would best assist Trina on her journey?
I'm being told not to neglect woods,
Mm.
like different barks,
Mm-hmm.
wood chips.
Okay, so that's something that she can still explore.
And I'm being told glasses, like maybe different colored glasses, like blue cobalt bottles or different shapes of bowls. Shapes are very important.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think that's all of her questions. Now I wanted to ask if you could please scan Trina's body and let her know if there's any particular parts of her body, energetic body, or mental body that needs any attention right now.
Thought processes need to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
There's concerns with the gut area, and it's also linked to the heart, as if the gut and the heart aren't fully connected, or there's like some kind of like wedge between the two, and they're giving each other mixed signals and they're not in harmony, which also feels like almost like a stab in the back, and then which also leads to upper neck tension.
So it's all stemming from that disconnection between the heart and the gut?
It's definitely right there. Like there's like it's like a clear, it's not clear, but it's almost like brown sludge, or like some kind of like darkish, maybe green, or like some type of color that it's above the belly button.
Mm-hmm.
And like I almost want to say it's from not eating right, or like not being fully aware of what you're putting inside, or not drinking enough water. I don't know, something's not right.
So what is the cause? Can you tell us what the cause is of that disconnect?
I hear the word choice, like
Is there
I'm trying to go more from the gut instead of listening to my heart, or like I'm mad at my heart, like my heart did something wrong to me, or it tricked me, or like I've been heartbroken. It's almost like a fetish for self-harm or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how can she heal herself or clear that?
See, that's when bad thoughts just came in.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically it mentioned death. But I know that's not true, so it's like something's messing with me.
Mm-hmm.
So intuition just said disconnect from those entities that are affecting, that are attaching to me, which are, I know for a fact, are clinging tighter ever since I started trying to end that with the whole test, the 21-day test.
And how can she best and most efficiently disconnect from those entities?
I hear salt water.
Mm-hmm.
There's some kind of huge connection with that, how that washes that all away.
Okay.
Recognition,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost want to say some kind of thing that's going to be shown through ayahuasca, or like that there's some kind of new healing practice that I just don't recognize, or some type of shield that needs to be put up, or maybe fixing the aura shield, or some type of healing that has to be done.
Can you clear that for her right now? I know you can do many miraculous things. Can you help clear that now so that Trina can do the work that she's meant to do?
I can and have began clearing the insides. However, the auric outside shield is deeply damaged. There's definitely heavy scar tissue from the guards being down too long.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there's red fibers there. And this is going to take time to create that golden creator substance to come accompanied. She's called upon guardian Archangel Michael
Mm-hmm.
to shield her with his wings, but even that is not enough. She'll have to be there for maybe a couple months or something to really be accompanied inside a golden egg type womb where that field can be healed. However, she will have to have truly learned the experiences of every past life in order to truly see to it that that doesn't happen again.
So, can she start by using the lessons that she's learned from her past lives today?
Yes, and she's being shown signs every single day.
Okay. And how can she... Trina has mentioned that she gets a lot of dreams, but she forgets them, and that she does get a lot of messages, but she said that they easily slip away from her. What is the cause of that?
It's two things. Some things she's not really meant to have, and another one is where they're being taken away from her by those other entities who don't want her to be where she was, because they feed upon her, and they feed upon her fear and her misery and that low vibrational energy. It would be good for her to write those things down when she remembers them, or have the trigger words or things that bring her back to that sacred space. There's also different musics and part of her healing process, that all of those things will help bring her back to those sacred spaces, and definitely is meant to look into dream meanings and their connections, because there's different symbolisms that are being shown. She may not yet understand.
Okay, and how would you best advise Trina connect with her inner voice? Since it seems like there's so many voices around her, how can she discern her own true voice?
I'm definitely being told that one needs more massages, like to kind of like get out of the body and to really feel your own true authentic self, instead of all the tensions that are held within, all the burdens that you carry of everyone else, all the voices that you hear. It's easy to get lost to yourself also in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You need complete darkness and silence.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm also being shown the word in the whole essence of mindfulness, how one must be present even no matter how loud a child is screaming.
Mm-hmm.
One must be able to recognize that peace, that inner voice that lies within.
Okay, thank you. Now, going back to the body scan, you said you were trying to clear some of the sludge or the disconnection between her heart and her gut. Is there anything else in her body that needs any attention right now?
Definitely body work and addressing the arrows or spears that are in her heart or in her energetic field that are kind of affecting everything.
And how can she best deal with that or clear that?
She can rip them out. There will be scar tissue. I'm being told that they will push themselves out kind of like thorns do.
Mm-hmm.
But she has to create this healing process and create almost some kind of shield up where basically people's words won't hurt her anymore, where she won't second guess or doubt herself.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think doubt was something that was coming up for her before.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, so she needs to just heal so that she can trust herself. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other parts of her body or energy that needs to be addressed?
I'm being told more sunshine.
Okay.
And more barefoot walking. And mountains are important to kind of get that fresh air.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Now, I think that's all of it. If there's nothing else going on with her body that needs attention, do you have any other final messages for Trina before we close this session?
I can't hear anything other than I'm meant to go get a massage like right after this.
Okay.
I'm being told that my body is awful right now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the help, the assistance, and the guidance that you've provided for us today. So now I'm going to go ahead and ask the subconscious to recede to where it belongs, with much love and much thanks for the help and information it has been giving Trina today. I know she's really going to appreciate it. And I want the entities from the other lives that we were speaking with to also recede into the past to the time where they belong, with much love and much thanks for the information they have given us. And remember, the things you were watching are from the past. They belong in the past, and we will leave them in the past. We've only brought them forward as a curiosity to learn from, to have information to help with the present lifetime. In that way, they are valuable and have importance. But as Trina listens to the recording and goes over the material and puts it into place, it will not bother her in any way, mentally or physically. That is very important. It will not bother her in any way, mentally or physically. Now, I want all of the consciousness and personality of Trina to once again return and fully integrate back into the body completely. Now, all of the consciousness and personality of Trina is once again fully integrated and back into the body, replacing all the other parts we were speaking to. Now I want Trina to move up, up, up through time and space and orient yourself back into the present day and time. This is April 26, I think, 2018. You're lying here on the bed in San Jose, California, and you've just had a very interesting experience. And I want you to remember that the present life you are living now is the most important life of all, because it is the one you are focused on at the present time. Any information we can find in this way is valuable, but it will not bother you in any way, mentally or physically, as you understand it and put it into place. That is very important. It will not bother you in any way. Now in a moment, I'm going to count to 10, and on the count of 10, you will be wide awake, feeling wonderful all over, as though you've had a nice nap, a nice sleep. You will feel truly rested and refreshed. Anytime you do this, it will always be an enjoyable experience. Now follow me up as we go, and on the count of 10, you will be wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. Now 1, 2, you're beginning to breathe a little faster. Your blood is beginning to circulate a little faster because you're going to wake up now. 3, 4, you're becoming aware of the physical body, very much aware of the physical body. You can now move your arms and legs around to get the muscles working and the blood circulating. We're getting everything moving again because you're very much aware of the physical body. You're focused on it now because you're beginning to wake up now. 5, 6, you're becoming aware of the sounds in the room and the sounds outside of the room. You are very much aware of your physical surroundings. And you're oriented back here in this time and this place, and you're beginning to wake up now. Now 7, 8, you're coming up very nicely now, very nicely. And 9, 10, you're wide awake, and you're feeling wonderful all over. Welcome back.
Hi. Dude, I feel like you can do that anytime almost.
Yes.
Like accessing all that information. It was crazy to access all of those.
Yeah, you're just
lives.
going.
And I just like saw like a movie.